The bathroom door stood closed. Inside, the water ran. Minutes passed. Then came the sound every family dreads, a heavy thud against tile. When the door finally opened, a 72-year-old man lay unconscious on the shower floor, blood pooling near his head. The paramedics arrived within minutes, but the damage was already done. A brain aneurysm had ruptured. His life changed forever in that moment. The cause? A simple shower habit that millions practice every single day without realizing the danger lurking beneath. Buddhist philosophy has long taught that the body serves as a sacred vessel, a temple that houses consciousness and enables spiritual growth. Ancient monks understood what modern medicine now confirms. The smallest actions performed carelessly can trigger catastrophic consequences. The shower, a place meant for purification and renewal, has become one of the most dangerous locations in the home for those over 60 years of age. Every year, thousands collapse in their bathrooms. Many never recover. The tragedy deepens when one realizes these incidents are entirely preventable. What happened in that bathroom was not an accident. It was not bad luck. It was not the inevitable result of aging. The man who collapsed practiced a specific habit that millions have been taught to believe is harmless, even beneficial. This habit creates pressure changes in the body so severe that blood vessels in the brain cannot withstand the force. The result is rupture, bleeding, and often death or permanent disability. Buddhist teachings warn that ignorance of natural law does not protect anyone from its consequences. The universe operates according to precise principles. The body responds to physical forces whether one understands them or not. The most disturbing aspect of this story involves how common these dangerous practices have become. Parents teach them to children. Doctors occasionally recommend them. Health magazines promote them as beneficial rituals. Meanwhile, emergency rooms fill with victims who never suspected that their morning routine contained hidden lethal potential. The time has come to expose these practices and understand why Buddhist wisdom about balance, gradual change, and respect for the body's limitations proves more relevant today than ever before. What follows in this presentation could save a life. Perhaps that life belongs to someone watching right now. Perhaps it belongs to a parent, a spouse, a friend. The information revealed here represents centuries of accumulated wisdom about the human body, combined with modern medical understanding of what triggers brain aneurysms and strokes. 5 specific shower habits will be examined in detail. Each carries significant risk. Each can be corrected through simple awareness and modified behavior. Before exploring these dangerous practices, everyone watching must understand something critical. The risk increases with age, but no one is immune. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. This information needs to reach as many people as possible. Every subscription helps spread this life-saving knowledge to someone who desperately needs to hear it. The algorithms that control what content people see prioritize videos that receive strong engagement. By liking and subscribing now, anyone watching actively participates in potentially saving lives. This is not mere entertainment. This is urgent health information that mainstream sources have failed to communicate clearly. Comment below with the mantra, "My body is my temple, and I protect it with wisdom." This affirmation reinforces the commitment to honor the physical form through intelligent choices. Buddhist practitioners understand that spoken intentions carry power. By publicly declaring this commitment, each person creates accountability for implementing the protective measures about to be revealed. The comment section will become a community of individuals dedicated to longevity and health through mindful practice. Take a moment right now to type that mantra and post it, then return to absorb the critical information that follows. For thousands of years, Buddhist philosophy has emphasized the middle path, the principle of balance and moderation in all things. This teaching applies profoundly to physical health and daily habits. The body functions optimally when treated with consistent gentleness, rather than subjected to extremes. Modern life has cultivated impatience, a desire for intense experiences, and a disconnection from the body's subtle signals. These cultural patterns have made people vulnerable to practices that seem harmless on the surface but create dangerous physiological stress beneath. The brain represents the most delicate and vital organ in the human body. It consumes 20% of the body's oxygen despite comprising only 2% of body weight. The blood vessels feeding the brain maintain a precise calibration of pressure and flow. When this calibration is disrupted suddenly, the vessels can tear or burst. An aneurysm occurs when a blood vessel wall weakens and balloons outward, creating a fragile bubble that can rupture with sufficient pressure. Many people live with undetected aneurysms, small weaknesses in blood vessel walls that cause no symptoms until something triggers catastrophic failure. The shower habits about to be discussed serve as common triggers. Buddhist teachings about the interconnection of all things apply directly to understanding how the body responds to environmental changes. The cardiovascular system, the nervous system, the respiratory system all operate as an integrated whole. A sudden change in one system creates cascading effects throughout the others. The ancient monks who developed meditation and breathing practices understood that gentle, gradual adjustment allows the body to maintain equilibrium. Shocking the system with abrupt temperature changes, pressure changes, or positional changes overrides the body's protective mechanisms and creates vulnerability to catastrophic events. The concept of prana or life energy in Buddhist philosophy corresponds to what modern medicine calls circulation and oxygenation. When blood flow to the brain is disrupted, consciousness cannot be maintained. When blood pressure spikes suddenly, vessel walls experience strain they were not designed to withstand. The shower environment, with its combination of heat, moisture, confined space, and opportunities for rapid position changes, creates a perfect storm of risk factors. Each of the 5 habits to be examined exploits these vulnerabilities in specific ways. Understanding the mechanism behind each danger empowers people to make different choices that honor the body's needs and limitations. The first dangerous habit involves extreme temperature contrast, particularly the practice of alternating between very hot and very cold water. Many have heard that cold showers offer health benefits, and this belief is not entirely wrong. However, the method of transition makes all the difference between beneficial practice and deadly risk. Picture this scenario. Someone stands under hot water for several minutes, allowing the body temperature to rise and the blood vessels to dilate. The heat causes blood vessels near the skin surface to expand, increasing blood flow to the periphery. The heart rate increases to manage this redistribution of blood. Then suddenly, the person switches the water to cold. The shock hits like a physical blow. Buddhist philosophy teaches that all phenomena arise from causes and conditions. Understanding the physiological cause and effect of temperature shock illuminates why this practice proves so dangerous. When cold water strikes skin that has been heated, the body interprets this as an emergency. Blood vessels constrict violently to preserve core temperature. This sudden constriction forces blood away from the periphery and back toward the core and brain. Blood pressure spikes dramatically within seconds. For someone with a weakened blood vessel in the brain, this pressure spike can trigger rupture. The person may feel dizzy, nauseous, or experience a sudden severe headache, or they may simply collapse. As the man in the opening story did, their consciousness extinguished in an instant. The positive approach to temperature variation respects the body's need for gradual adaptation. Ancient bathing rituals in Buddhist monasteries involve slow transitions, giving the body time to adjust to each change. Modern practitioners seeking the benefits of cold water exposure should implement this wisdom practically. Begin the shower with warm water at a comfortable temperature. Wash completely. Then, rather than shocking the system, Reduce the temperature gradually over the course of 30 to 60 seconds. Allow the body to acclimate progressively. The cold water benefits can still be obtained without the dangerous pressure spike. Even better, end the shower by returning gradually to warm water, preventing the body from going into shock from prolonged cold. The warning bears repeating because lives depend on understanding this mechanism. Anyone over 50 years old should avoid sudden temperature extremes entirely. The blood vessels become less elastic with age, more prone to damage from pressure fluctuations. Those with high blood pressure, a history of stroke or heart disease, or a family history of aneurysm face exponentially greater risk. For these individuals, cold water therapy should be avoided completely or undertaken only under medical supervision with extreme gradualness. The temporary invigoration from a cold shock is not worth the risk of brain hemorrhage. Buddhist teachings remind us that wisdom lies in choosing long-term well-being over momentary intensity. Now attention turns to the second dangerous habit, one that many would never consider risky: straining during bowel movements right before or after showering. The bathroom routine for millions involves using the toilet, then immediately stepping into the shower, or showering first, then sitting to use the toilet. This timing seems innocuous, even logical. The danger emerges from a phenomenon called the Valsalva maneuver, which occurs whenever someone bears down and holds their breath while straining. This action dramatically increases pressure in the chest and skull. Buddhist understanding of the body as an integrated system helps explain why this timing proves particularly dangerous. During the Valsalva maneuver, pressure inside the skull can double or even triple within seconds. Blood flow to the brain becomes impeded by this increased pressure. Simultaneously, the blood vessels themselves experience greater stress. If this occurs while the person is already compromised by heat from the shower, which dilates blood vessels and alters blood pressure regulation, the risk compounds significantly. Standing up quickly after straining further complicates the situation, as will be discussed in a later section. The combination creates perfect conditions for aneurysm rupture or stroke. The healthier practice separates bathroom use from showering by at least 10 to 15 minutes. This interval allows blood pressure to normalize after any straining has occurred. Buddhist monks maintained careful attention to bodily functions and timing, understanding that proper sequence prevents harm. For those who struggle with constipation, a common issue in elderly populations, addressing the root cause through diet, hydration, and gentle movement proves far superior to accepting chronic straining as normal. Fiber intake, adequate water consumption, and regular walking all contribute to easier elimination that requires no dangerous straining. The body was designed for elimination to occur easily when properly nourished and hydrated. Those who must strain should never hold their breath. Instead, breathing should continue normally throughout the process, even if this means the process takes longer. The momentary discomfort of patients far outweighs the catastrophic consequence of brain hemorrhage. Additionally, installing a toilet stool that elevates the feet changes the angle of the colon and makes elimination easier, often eliminating the need for straining entirely. These simple modifications honor the body's design rather than fighting against it. Buddhist wisdom emphasizes working with natural principles rather than against them. The same principle applies to every system of the body. Moving forward, the third dangerous habit might surprise many because it involves an action people perform without thinking, holding the breath while washing hair or bending forward under the shower stream. Watch someone shower and notice how often they hold their breath when water runs over their face or when they lean forward to rinse shampoo. This breath holding triggers the same Valsalva effect discussed previously. Pressure increases in the chest and skull. Blood flow patterns change. For the brief moment of breath holding, the risk of rupture increases. The philosophical understanding from Buddhist practice teaches conscious awareness of breathing at all times. Breath represents the bridge between body and mind, the one autonomic function that can be controlled consciously. Losing awareness of breath during mundane activities like showering indicates disconnection from the body, a dangerous state of inattention. The solution requires simple mindfulness. When washing hair, breathe continuously through the mouth, even as water runs over the face. Turn the face away from direct spray when needed. Take breaks from leaning forward to stand upright and breathe normally. These small adjustments eliminate the pressure spikes associated with breath holding. For those with mobility issues who must lean forward extensively during showering, installing a shower chair provides an alternative. Sitting while showering prevents the forward lean that often accompanies washing lower body parts or feet. It also eliminates the fourth dangerous habit to be discussed next. The investment in simple adaptive equipment carries profound importance for safety. Buddhist teachings emphasize that wise preparation prevents suffering. Installing safety equipment before an incident occurs represents wisdom in action. Waiting until after someone has fallen or collapsed represents the unfortunate but common pattern of reactive rather than preventive thinking. The warning extends beyond just breath holding to include any activity that involves bearing down or creating pressure while in the shower. Coughing, sneezing, and forceful nose blowing all create similar pressure spikes. When the body signals the need to cough or sneeze, step away from the water stream, bend the knees slightly to stabilize, and perform the action with an open mouth to reduce pressure buildup. These conscious modifications protect the brain during vulnerable moments. What seems like paranoid caution proves, upon understanding the mechanism, to be intelligent risk management. The fourth dangerous habit involves orthostatic stress, standing up too quickly from a sitting or squatting position in the shower. Many elderly individuals sit on a shower bench or squat to wash their feet and lower legs. When they stand up rapidly, blood pressure drops suddenly as gravity pulls blood away from the brain toward the legs. This drop in cerebral blood pressure causes dizziness, loss of balance, and potential collapse. Even if no aneurysm exists, falling in a wet, hard shower presents enormous danger of traumatic brain injury, broken hips, or other catastrophic injuries. Buddhist philosophy speaks extensively about mindful movement, about bringing conscious awareness to every physical action. Modern culture has created rushing, impatience, a constant push to move faster and do more. This cultural pattern proves literally deadly for elderly individuals whose cardiovascular systems no longer compensate quickly for position changes. The baroreceptors that sense blood pressure and trigger compensatory responses become less sensitive with age. The heart takes longer to increase its rate to maintain blood pressure during position changes. The result, a much longer period of vulnerability during which the brain receives insufficient blood flow. The protective practice incorporates slowness and staging into every position change. When moving from sitting to standing or from squatting to standing, the process should take at least 5 to 7 seconds. Push up with the arms, using grab bars or the sides of the shower for support. Pause halfway through the movement, remaining bent at the waist for 2 to 3 seconds, allowing blood pressure to begin adjusting. Then complete the rise to standing while maintaining contact with a stable surface for support. Stand still for 5 to 10 seconds before attempting to move, ensuring stability has been achieved. This methodical approach eliminates the dangerous drop in cerebral blood flow that causes collapse. Installing grab bars in showers is not optional for anyone over 60. These bars provide essential support during position changes and prevent falls if dizziness does occur. The bars should be professionally installed into studs capable of supporting full body weight. Suction cup bars are inadequate and dangerous. Buddhist teachings about preparing the environment to support practice apply directly here. The shower should be configured as a safe space with adequate support before any incident demonstrates the need. Many people resist installing safety equipment because it signals aging or disability. This resistance represents pride, one of the obstacles to wisdom that Buddhism identifies. Accepting reality and responding with practical measures demonstrates true wisdom and self-respect. The most disturbing aspect of orthostatic hypotension involves how quickly it can strike. Someone might have showered safely for years, then one day find themselves on the floor without understanding what happened. The difference often involves minor changes, slight dehydration, a new medication, a small illness, or simple fatigue. These factors combine with the position change to create the tipping point. Buddhist understanding of impermanence teaches that conditions constantly shift. What was safe yesterday may not be safe today. Continuous mindfulness and adaptation protect against complacency that assumes yesterday's safety guarantees today's. Before exploring the fifth habit, take a moment to reflect on how many of these practices have been present in daily routine. Has there been rapid temperature change, bathroom use directly before showering, breath holding while washing hair, quick position changes? Each of these requires immediate modification. The information being shared has the power to prevent tragedy, but only if implemented. Knowledge without action provides no protection. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes right action as essential to wisdom. Knowing the path means nothing if the path is not walked. The fifth and final dangerous habit involves showering immediately after vigorous exercise or immediately after eating a large meal. Both activities place significant demands on the cardiovascular system. Exercise increases heart rate, blood pressure, and core body temperature. Eating diverts substantial blood flow to the digestive system. When someone showers during these periods, especially with hot water, the body faces competing demands it struggles to meet simultaneously. The result can be cardiovascular overwhelm that triggers collapse. The physiological mechanism behind post-exercise danger involves the combination of already elevated blood pressure from exertion with the vasodilation caused by hot water. Blood vessels dilated from heat cannot constrict quickly when the person stands still in the shower. Blood pools in the legs, the brain receives insufficient flow, dizziness, and fainting result. For someone with an undetected aneurysm, the sustained high blood pressure from exercise followed immediately by hot shower exposure creates optimal conditions for rupture. The weakened vessel wall, already stressed by elevated pressure, cannot withstand the additional heat-induced dilation. The wisdom path requires a minimum waiting period of 20 to 30 minutes after exercise before showering. During this interval, cool down with gentle walking or stretching. Drink water to replace fluids lost through sweating. Allow heart rate and blood pressure to return toward baseline. The body signals when it has recovered through the cessation of heavy breathing and the reduction in sweating. Only when these signs indicate recovery should showering begin, and even then, the water temperature should be moderate rather than hot. The temporary inconvenience of waiting pales in comparison to the permanent consequence of brain hemorrhage. Similarly, showering immediately after a large meal diverts blood flow away from the digestive system at a time when digestion requires maximum circulation to the stomach and intestines. The competing demands create stress on the cardiovascular system. Blood pressure can drop, causing dizziness. For elderly individuals with compromised circulation, this competition for blood flow creates genuine danger. The wise practice involves waiting at least 1 hour after eating before showering, allowing initial digestion to occur. If showering cannot be delayed, keeping the water temperature moderate and the shower duration brief reduces the cardiovascular demand. Buddhist teaching about the middle path applies perfectly to understanding proper shower timing. The extremes of showering during peak cardiovascular demand represent one end of imbalance. The opposite extreme of never showering represents the other end. The middle path involves timing showers during periods when the body can accommodate the cardiovascular demands comfortably. This typically means showering when rested, not immediately after exertion or eating, and not immediately before bed when body temperature should be dropping to promote sleep. Each person must learn to read their body's signals and respond with timing that supports rather than stresses physiological processes. The transition away from these five dangerous habits requires conscious commitment and probably some adjustment period. Habits form through repetition and operate below conscious awareness. Changing them demands bringing automatic behaviors into conscious control until new patterns become established. Buddhist meditation practices develop exactly this capacity, the ability to observe automatic patterns and choose different responses. The same mindfulness that notices thoughts arising in meditation can notice the impulse to shock the body with cold water, to stand up quickly, to hold the breath while washing hair. In that moment of noticing, choice becomes possible. For those living with elderly parents or relatives, sharing this information could literally save their lives. Many seniors live alone and have no one monitoring their daily habits for safety risks. A simple conversation about shower safety, perhaps offering to install grab bars or a shower chair, demonstrates love through practical action. Buddhist compassion manifests through protecting others from suffering. When knowledge that could prevent harm remains unshared, compassion has not been practiced fully. Every person watching this presentation now carries responsibility to spread this information to those who need it. The closing message emphasizes that none of this information should inspire fear of showering. The shower remains a necessary and beneficial part of hygiene and health. The goal involves transforming showering from an unconscious routine performed on autopilot into a mindful practice performed with awareness and respect for the body's needs and limitations. This transformation represents a microcosm of the larger Buddhist path, bringing conscious awareness to all activities, recognizing cause and effect relationships, and choosing actions that prevent suffering. The body truly serves as a temple, a precious gift that enables experiencing life, pursuing growth, and connecting with others. Treating this temple with care, making small modifications to daily habits, and spreading knowledge that protects others from harm, these represent authentic spiritual practice. The man who collapsed in the shower survived but faced years of difficult recovery. His family wished desperately that someone had warned him about the dangers of his habits. This presentation serves as that warning for everyone watching and for everyone they choose to tell. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel one final time. Share this with anyone over 60 years old, anyone with high blood pressure, anyone with a family history of stroke or aneurysm. The comment section already contains hundreds of people posting the mantra, "My body is my temple and I protect it with wisdom." Add to that community of committed individuals. Together, this knowledge spreads. Together, lives are saved. Together, the Buddhist principle of reducing suffering through wisdom and compassion becomes reality. The five dangerous habits have been exposed. The protective practices have been explained. The choice of whether to implement them rests with each individual. May that choice be made with wisdom, with care, and with deep respect for the precious gift of life and health.